episode that is the episode Walkabout.
Oh, you're right.
We see Locke is in the wheelchair. It is not the episode Man from Tallahassee where we learn how he came to be in the wheelchair.
Oh, damn. Yes, you're right.
We're having our nerd out from Lost. This counts as our weekly 4, 8, 15, 16, 22, 32.
Oh my God.
It's not one of the numbers. It is the episode where his father pushes him out the window. His
That's
father,
right.
A character named Anthony Cooper, and it is in season 3. It is episode 62.
Also a very good episode, by the way.
It is a very good episode, but I knew as soon as you said it was your favorite episode, I was he's thinking about Walkabout.
Oh, I'm getting everything wrong today.
You know what? You're in the neighborhood. That's always what I like to see, is that you're close. You're nearby.
I appreciate it.
All right, we're going to move on to television. Yeah, and quite frankly, there's always going to be a lost question in this show somewhere along the way. And if I put it in numbers, it means the numbers are bad. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
All right, television. You have a 6 and an 8 left. How much would you wager on television?
Let's go with 8.
8 on television. All right, good luck. Here we go. Speaking of 62. The top-rated television show in 1962 was a Western, which aired on NBC before traveling over to ABC the following season and introducing a character named Cooper. What was this show?
Oh, boy. Okay. It's a very funny thing. So, as a kid, and I don't think I was like most kids this way, but I just hated Westerns. So I never watched any of those Westerns, except for Little House on the Prairie. I watched that. I don't know if that counts.
It's barely a Western.
Barely, right? Exactly. And actually, much more boring than a Western, so I don't know what I was doing. But in any case, I have a lot of Westerns swimming through my head, TV-wise now, that are running through my brain. I've got The Rifleman, Bonanza, and it's that name Cooper that is really drawing me towards Bonanza, but just because I loved Michael Landon so much in Little House on the Prairie, and he was also in Bonanza, I believe, I'm going to say Bonanza.
Bonanza. Now, you mentioned Little House on the Prairie. I do a mean impression of every episode from the first 3 seasons of Little House on the Prairie. You ready to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Willie, you gotta go, Willie, Nelly, guys.
That's actually pretty good. That's spot on. Yeah, I love that.
Thank you. Every single frickin' episode is just little kids whining.
Yeah.
Okay, Bonanza was the number 2 rated show in 1962. In fact, the top 3 were all Westerns. At number 3 was Gunsmoke, which is also not the correct answer. The number 1 show for that season was yet another Western in the final season of Westerns before pretty much they started to fade away from the television landscape. And that was a little show called Wagon Train.
Oh, Wagon Train. Oh, man, that's how Star Trek came about, or how it was pitched. Wagon Train to the Stars.
Wagon Train to the Stars, absolutely. Yeah, after they changed networks, the ratings started to go...
It's amazing. And it's like how much further was it to change the dial, like 3 stations or whatever,
Pretty much, yeah. I hear you. But people had their station loyalty back then.
They did. Yeah, they didn't want to get up off the couch to change it. That's great.
Well, didn't they have kids? That's what we were for.
Right? Yeah, that's right. We were the remotes.
Absolutely. All right, well, didn't get the television question. I won't mention that you're a TV writer because it would be embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. Actually, but I actually think Jacksonville's way more embarrassing, but yeah, that's okay.
I had already forgotten. Forgotten.
Why did I remind anybody?
Okay, well, let's move on to science and hope it's not a question about Jaguars. For 6 points, here is your science question. Gunsmoke, or rather gunshot residue, is typically found on the hands of those people who have recently fired a gun. Now, 3 elements are found in nearly all of these residues. One of them is lead. To get your 6 points, name either of the other 2 elements.
Okay. It's funny that we were just talking about Star Trek, because in Star Trek, Captain Kirk was on a planet with a lizard, and he made his own gunpowder out of the component elements. So I'm assuming that some of those ingredients would be in the forensics of any gunshot. Let's say, I believe they are. And these are not my answers right now, but I want to say It's saltpeter, it's sulfur, and I'm blanking on, I think there should be a third ingredient there maybe, but maybe not. So let's say sulfur.
Well, sulfur is indeed an element, and if you think that I don't know about Captain Kirk fighting the Gorn, I mean, come on. Come on! Who do you think you're talking to here? I'm a nerd.
That was wonderful. No, I loved Arena. It's called Arena. Yeah.
You know, there are lots of elements that can be used as substitutes for the primary elements, and they're not nearly the quality, which is why they're not used in the actual bullets that we do have today.
Oh, no.
So while I believe scientifically the concoction, they were very good on the science in the original Star Trek, as well as future series, I believe that whatever elements they used in that could potentially work some of the time. And since Captain Kirk had, that good old plot armor, of course it was going to work. But no, in all major bullets that are made today, the primer elements are lead, barium, and antimony.
Oh, boy. Well, I wasn't close at all.
Just on the tip of the tongue, right?
Yeah. Well, I tried.
Well, round 3, not as good as round 2.
Yeah, I'm bombing now. I'm feeling really bad now going into round 4.
Well, your alliance has struggled of late. The other alliance has gained power, and they're pagonging you left and right. But
yes,
there's still time to kind of pull together the bottom of that alliance and maybe bring them over to your side. All right, enough with the survivor metaphors. Let's move on to round 4. You still have 70 points, and the point values in this round are the highest possible for this game at 3, 5, 7, and 9. And here are your categories for the final round. We'll start things off with literature, move on to around the world, move on to analogies, and lifestyle, which, admittedly, altogether now, is a bit of a hodgepodge. So literature is first, 3, 5, 7, or 9.
Gosh, let's go with 5.
5 points for literature. All right, here is your first question in round 4. In Sue Grafton's alphabet series of Kinsey Millhone mysteries, G was not used for anything gun-related, but rather she went with G is for gumshoe. What did she use for the letter U?
Wow. Okay, first of all, I have not read this. I was hoping you were going to ask me what G stood for, but then you just told me, so that's not the question. Okay.
Yeah, but you're familiar that every one of her novels in this series has some sort of, A is for alibi, G is for gumshoe.
Yeah.
With the exception of X, which was just X, because X is not for anything. But what was U for?
Gosh, you. And I want to think like detectives or, crime or, oh my God. You. I now cannot think of anything other than the letter U. There are no words coming to mind other than...
U is for you don't know, do you?
That's kind of what it is for, yeah. You. Oh, boy. You know what? Because I just can't tell, I'm going to say U is for unclear.
Very, very good. Hey, the culprit for the crimes that were committed in this novel were indeed unclear. No, unfortunately, though, she actually went with a story. From what I understand, it was a very complicated story where there were 2 murders that had happened in the previous, in the past, in the distant past, kind of like a historical analysis of these murders. But the repercussions of those were still being felt by one of the characters in present day, and they were kept being sucked back into the despair of those crimes. So U is for undertow. Oh,
I never would have gotten that, but I like that.
it was the one word on that list that jumped out at me and just went, wow, that's weird, which is why I picked it.
That's cool. No, kudos.
All right, we're going to move on to Around the World. You have 3, 7, and 9. How much will you wager on Around the World?
Let's go with 7 for this.
All right, 7 points. Here we go. Playa Zipolite, or Playa Zipolite, a.k.a. Beach of the Dead, is so called because of the large numbers of drownings that used to regularly take place there due to the strong rip currents and undertow. In what country can you find these deadly sands?
Okay, well, playa, obviously Spanish. So that narrows it down somewhat, maybe to about half. I don't think, I'm right now what's popping into my head is Spain, but I'm not saying Spain right now. I want to think, at the same time though, now I've got like, Shawshank Redemption and J.A. Watson or whatever that was, Mexico. And there's a large number of other countries too that could be. But right now, my gut is telling me Spain. I'm going to say Spain. Final answer.
Final answer is Spain. Sometimes your gut is right on point, and sometimes it's your other gut.
Oh, no.
To. I hoped you were going to give the right answer. It's Mexico.
Oh, of course it is.
It is Mexico. It is in Oaxaca.
Oh, man. Why did I say Mexico?
Yeah, they used to have people die on the regular, and then they came up with an amazing, innovative idea. They installed lifeguards.
Oh, hey, that works.
And ever since then, the number of deaths have gone way down.
Well, as somebody who can't swim very well, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you and Jervis, right?
It's true. Me and water, no friends.
That is one of the main reasons why I will never be on Survivor.
You don't swim well?
I do not swim at all.
Okay, yeah, no, it's an issue.
I am a New York City boy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Philadelphia. I could have driven to your place. Yeah, same situation.
All right, well, no points as of yet, and we've run off a few goose eggs in a row here. But let's finish strong. We got analogies. You have 3 and 9 left. How much for analogies?
We'll go with 9 for some reason.
Okay, 9 points. And here we go. Spinning off of lifeguards, kind of. Please complete the following analogy. AC Slater is to Cynthia as Wendy Pfeffercorn is to who?
Okay. This is embarrassing. I know the name AC Slater, but I can't think of from what. I want to say it's a TV show, right? But you don't have to answer that.
I'm not going to.
Okay. and Wendy Pfeffercorn?
Wendy Pfeffercorn.
Pfeffercorn. First of all I can say is I love these names, and I know I'm going to be embarrassed when you say something like Saved by the Bell or something. And maybe that is what it is. Let's pretend that's what it is. So let's say Wendy Pfeffercorn is to, I assume that would be the character's name. I can't think of any of the characters. Oh, no, that is a character. Why? I don't know. Gosh, I was is to Barbara.
Barb, you've been watching a little bit of Stranger Things. You're on the Barb train. I understand.
Maybe that's yeah.
All right, well, let's walk through this. AC Slater is indeed Mario Lopez's character on Saved by the Bell.
Oh.
And at one point during their series run, all the gang went to Malibu Sands and got jobs at this beach club. AC Slater and Kelly Kapowski, of course, played by Tiffany Amber Thiessen, were lifeguards. And AC Slater had a secret crush who, in order to get his attention, pretended to drown so that he would give her CPR. And this was a character named Cynthia. Appeared in one episode, was uncredited, but was played by Denise Richards.
Wow.
Just all this trivia coming out here.
Yeah.
So AC Slater is to Cynthia, or lifeguard is to pretend drown victim, as Wendy Pfeffercorn, lifeguard in the movie The Sandlot.
Oh my God.
Is to Squints.
You know what sucks so much is a new friend I just made a week ago told me that I need to see the movie The Sandlot. I've never seen it. And had I just taken her advice before this recording, I might have actually been able to answer this.
Well, yeah, I think this probably guilt you into now watching the movie, and you go, "Oh, that's the Wendy Pfeffercorn, of course."
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like that time that Cynthia pulled this trick on AC Slater.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Saved by the Bell. It missed me for some reason. I don't know how, but it did.
It missed me too, but I also try to reach out to all those millennials out there. You know who you are, and it's their show. It's their their I don't know, Brady
Family
Bunch.
Ties. Yeah, sure.
Family Ties.